In this package is a cube that I'm really excited to unbox today. This is the Moretry Tianma X3, and there's 4 versions of this cube, and I have the 4th one, and I'll tell you later on in the video what makes the versions different. But anyways, let's start unboxing it. So from what I know about this cube is that there was an earlier version of it, but then they made some adjustments, and that's the one I have here. So I'm really excited to try this cube. I don't know a whole lot about this cube though. I ordered it right after I got the email that it was released because I was really excited about it and I wanted to be one of the first people to have it. And it actually turned out in my favor that I pre-ordered it so early, as you'll see in a second. So here is the cube itself, and here is what I think is a limited edition of the cube that I got for being one of the first 20 people to pre-order it. So we'll take a look at that in a second. And this is just some silk that I got for free. So first of all, just with the box, the version 1 and version 2 come in a more simple box, I guess. And the version 3 and 4 come in this box, and I got the version 4. So that's why it's in this box. But before I open this, I'm going to open the limited edition one because I'm really excited to see this thing. I'm not going to try it though because I want to try the actual cube first. I don't know if this limited edition cube is like built the same as the actual cube. Probably not, but we'll see. So I think I ordered this within about 10 minutes of it being released, and I was super excited when I saw that they added this limited edition cube to my order. Ooh, this looks sick. So I guess if you hold it like this, it basically looks like their logo, which is really cool. Okay, wow, so it actually does have magnets. That's pretty cool. I thought it might just be a cube that's like a display cube, so pretty cool to see that it does have magnets. I'm not going to turn it a whole lot because I want to try the actual one first. So let's get into that. So while I'm opening this, I'll tell you about the different versions of the cube. There's 4 versions, like I said, and basically what the versions correspond to is the number of magnets and also the type of magnet system it has. So the version 4, which I got, has a total of 132 magnets, which is absolutely crazy to me. I've never seen that amount of magnets in a 3x3 before. And it also features maglev, but from my understanding, it's not just the normal maglev. It has many more magnets than that. So we're going to find out if it's overkill or if it actually makes it better. So let's go ahead and open this. First of all, I really like this box design. Like, this is super cool. For once, a cube box that is easy to open and isn't like suctioned to itself. Oh wait, I might have spoken too soon. Oh, no I didn't. I thought this blue piece was another box. Alright, so here we have the cube itself. And what's in here? Oh wow, let's take a look at this first. Used for cleaning internal scums of the cube? It's called blue tack. I'm honestly not sure what this is. I guess it's like some sort of putty or something, but we'll find out in a minute. That's really interesting. This is probably a tutorial. Yep. A nice screwdriver. And ooh, a cloth with their logo on it. I'm not sure if you can see that. And another tutorial. So far I really like the way this cube is packaged. It seems like they put a lot of work or a lot of thought into that. So now let's take a look at the cube itself. Oh, and it also came with this. So this is actually really helpful. This shows what the difference in the 4 versions are. So I'll put a picture of this on the screen for a second. If you guys want to read it, just pause the video. So now let's try the cube. Is there anything under here? Nope. Again, really nice packaging. This is great. Oh, and I don't know if I said this yet, but the cube was $32, I think. So we'll see if it compares to other cubes in that price range. Let's go ahead and open this. So what I heard is that the trademark on the logo, let me focus on that, is actually color coordinated to the version of the cube. On it, obviously you can't really see the trademark from that far away. So maybe they could have found a way to do that with the actual logo itself, but I'm not sure, and I don't really care about that part. Alright, so let's do some turns for some first impressions. And I messed up a keyframe already. Definitely too fast, but I'm sure that can be controlled through the tensioning system and some lube. So we'll work on that in a minute, but first let's take a look at the internals. So here's one of the edge pieces with the edge corner magnets, and it has this really cool pattern on the inside, which is, I guess, to control the friction. And here's a corner piece. All in all, it's a really clean style. I like it. So now let's put this thing back together and take a look at the center pieces, because I'm pretty sure there's some interesting stuff going on there. I'm really afraid to take this apart because of the maglev system. It actually has, I think, 6 magnets instead of 2, like a normal maglev system would. But I'm going to take it apart anyways and hope that I don't regret it. Alright, so here is a complete center. And in here, right at the bottom, is a magnet. So I guess that's the bottom magnet for the maglev system. Above that is another tensioning system with a bunch of numbers on it. I'm not sure how that works, and I don't think I got a tool for that. I'm not sure if you need a tool, though. And then on the screw, we have 5 other magnets, so that does make 6 in total. So instead of a normal maglev system, like in the RS3M or something, they just decided to put 4 more magnets on it. I'm not sure if that's actually going to help. So I just spent about 20 minutes putting this center maglev system back together. And I have to say confidently that I will never be taking that apart ever again. The problem is that since 5 of the magnets are on the same side and they're all repelling each other, it's hard to make them line up with each other to put them back in the center. So that seems kind of like a design flaw. I mean, I guess there's not really any reason to take the maglev system off, but if you unscrewed it too far and it just happened to fall apart, then you're kind of in trouble unless you got 20 minutes to try to meticulously put this back together. So now I'm going to work on the tensioning and then do some solves and then try to answer the question of, is this cube good? So this tensioning system is very similar to other cubes where it sort of just has these little clicks and they make the system go higher or lower, which changes the tension of the cube. So right now they all seem to be at the lowest setting, so I'm going to put them up about 3 or something. Alright, so now let's see how it feels. Oh yeah, that's definitely a lot better. I'd still say it's too loose. Actually, maybe it's not too loose. It might just be too fast, so it needs some lube. I'm actually going to do one more though. See if that helps. Oh, and by the way, earlier I said it didn't come with a tool for this, but it's pretty easy to just do with a screwdriver, so it's not that big of a deal. I think that's a good tension, so now let's lube it and see if it's ready to do some solves. Oh, and by the way, while mixing this lube around, it just occurred to me that this thing does not seem very heavy for the amount of magnets that are in it. So I'm starting to question if there's actually 132 magnets in here. Alright, so I ended up tightening each of the screws about 360 degrees, and this thing feels pretty much exactly how I want it now. I don't think I'm going to change it anymore. Alright, even just solving it right there, this thing is already starting to feel really good. So now I'm going to try some more solves on it, and then give you my thoughts on it. Alright, so while you watch me do these solves, let me tell you what I think of this cube. So I have some pretty mixed opinions on this cube, and the way I'm going to put it is that it's like no other 3x3 that I've ever tried. It's very unique, but not necessarily in a good way. It has its ups and downs. So let's get into some of the pros and cons of this cube. So first of all, it turns absolutely effortlessly. It's like butter. And this would be one of the cons if you don't put lube in it. It needs lube to control the speed because out of the box it is way too fast. Another pro, I found that the corner cutting is very good even on tight settings. I put my settings on this cube pretty tight and I was surprised that the corner cutting was still really good. With these two things combined, the effortless turning and the corner cutting, I found that there's an added benefit to this cube which I wasn't expecting. And that's that I really enjoy using this cube for one-handed solves. I might end up maining this thing for one-handed, I'm not sure, we'll have to see. Another pro, which I think is a pretty important one, is that the plastic is not slippery at all. I don't think I dropped the cube during any of my solves, and I'm not sure if the reason is that the plastic is actually different than other cubes, or that I also noticed the cube didn't come with any lube on the outside of it, out of the box, which most other cubes do, so that could be the reason. But anyways, that is a big deal when doing solves. You need a cube that won't just fall out of your hands, so this one does that pretty well. So now let's move on to some of the cons of this cube. Although I said this cube has really good corner cutting, I still found myself getting catches during solves, and I don't really know the reason behind this, although I think I can kind of explain it. Most of the catches I was getting were probably just from sloppy turning, but I also feel like something was adding to that and giving me more catches than usual, which I think is just the sheer amount of magnets in this cube. Because there's so many magnets, it kind of feels like the magnets are deciding where the cube goes rather than me. All of that might not even be right, but that's just what I think. Another con is the sound. I might end up making it quieter in this video, but in person it is pretty loud. Now I'm not sure if this will be lessened as the cube breaks in. I guess we'll just have to see. But out of the box it is pretty loud, so it's not the kind of cube you'd want to bring on a plane. The last and probably most important con is that this cube is definitely not beginner friendly, or honestly anyone, not just beginners. Like, I'm not a beginner and I had trouble putting in the magnets like earlier. I do think the whole thing seems thought out, like just the box itself is really nice, the packaging, everything, but whatever's going on inside the cube kind of just makes me question, like, why is it like that? It could be more simple and be just as good. So now the final question, is this cube good and should you get it? When answering is the cube good, yes, it's a good cube, it turns well, but there's cubes that are better than it. Even some cubes that are better than it that are cheaper. Like in my opinion, the RSCM 2021 is still better than this cube. I'd be interested to see how good the base version is because I think that one's only $15. So if it's not that much different than this one, that could be a good option, although I'm not going to know that unless I get it. So is it a good cube? Yeah. Is it a great cube? No. Is it a bad cube? Definitely not. If you're looking for a new main, I would not recommend getting it. I would get something else like a GAN cube or a WRM or something. But if you're more of a collector like me, it's definitely an interesting cube to add to your collection. Like I said earlier, it's not like any other cube I've ever tried, so if you want something like that, then definitely grab it. It's super cool. So those are my thoughts on the cube, and I hope this was helpful to you if you were thinking about getting it. So now let's head to the outro. So if you got to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I'm going to be using this cube more in the near future to try to break it in, to see if it changes at all. And if it does change a lot, then I'll update you guys on that, but if it doesn't, then I probably won't. But anyways, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.